Hey guys, this is Adris here and I welcome you all to my channel. Today we're going to make this task to-do list application in React.js or React.js basics rather. The reason I'm saying that because I'll be using really simple, very basic React to make this tiny application, and yeah, it will be ideal project for someone who is very new to React or even thinking about to start learning React after learning HTML, CSS and JavaScript. I will be also using Bootstrap for styling purposes, and if you don't know Bootstrap, I think you'll still be okay as long as you know a little bit CSS. I don't know, maybe not. Yeah, so let me just walk you through this, what we're going to do. So of course you can see this is the header part or heading part, and then next we have label. After label we have an input where we can type our tasks, and let me just type one for you actually. So as you can see, here is the list, and if I type another one, task 4, if I click this button or press an enter key from my keyboard, the task will be added to the list, and from the list, if I want to remove any of these tasks, I can remove by clicking those buttons next to every task. So let's just say if we want to remove this task too, I have to click this and that will be gone. Another thing I want to mention is this validation. If I try to enter a task without typing anything, this will give us an error. As you can see, it says task is required, and as soon as I start typing in this input after this error, that error will go away. So let's just type T and yep, the error goes away. So that's another thing. So that's pretty much it. So as I said, it is going to be a very basic project, but there will be a lot to learn if you are new to React. So I'm very excited to show you all those tricks. So let's get started. Alright guys, so to start off, I have created these two files, index.html and app.jsx, in my VS Code, and just to save some time I have also done my HTML file, which is not much. It is just bare bone of this HTML skeleton and some CDN links, but I quickly show you what I've done. So of course this is HTML skeleton, and this first link is Bootstrap CDN link, as I'll be using Bootstrap for styling purpose, but if you want to know, you can get it from getbootstrap.com, and you will be using this CSS one. Okay, and the next one is excuse me, is for Font Awesome. You can get it from fontawesome.com, if you're using any icon or something from this Font Awesome. Okay, so this is for that. Next of course is title, and in my body tag I already done class bginfo, which is a Bootstrap class for background color, and in our body we have this div tag or div, which is the only HTML element we will be using for this whole project. Okay, which has an ID of root, so just remember this. So, and has some text loading, wait, and what React will do, it will render all of JSX into this div. So if it is confusing, please bear with me. It will make sense once we've done this project. Okay, and next, these two script tag with links are CDN links for React itself. So as I said, it is going to be a really basic React project, so I'm not even using any CLI tool like create React app. Just make it really simple and keep it really basic. So I'm using CDN links instead. So these links you can get these links from this react.js.org. So these are CDN links which you will be using, and to make these work we need Babel standalone as well. So in this script tag you will need this source link, which you can get from this page, get github.com/babel standalone, and if you scroll down to this installation, and this is the link which you will need. Okay, so just copy paste this link into this script tag and in this source. Okay, next is a script tag for our app.jsx. Alright, so the only difference here, you will need to do this type, where you will need to type text/Babel. Okay, so make sure you do this, otherwise this CDN link wouldn't work. Okay, so that's it, that's our HTML. We are done. That's the only HTML we need. Okay, so we will be rendering all of our React component into this div. So next we have our app.jsx, which is completely empty. So I just want to quickly show you some basics of React before I start making my project. So how React works, I just want to quickly show you. So what does React do? It uses React DOM.render method to render all the JSX into HTML. Okay, so what do I mean by that? So let's just say, if we want to say, actually let me just close all those links, because I just wanted to show you guys, and this is my live server already open. Okay, so yeah, so here we go. Just want to keep it open side by side so you guys can see. So if you right now, if you can see, we have loading weight, which is from our div here, loading weight text from our div. Okay, so right now this is what is getting rendered into the page. Okay, so let's say we want to render hello world, my favorite one. Okay, and this is how React works. Okay, so we're gonna get our document dot get element by ID, and the ID we gave was root to our div. So if I save this, see the magic, there you go. So now you are seeing hello world instead of the text which was in div. So what does React do? It replaces anything in the div, wherever we are rendering our text or whatever we are rendering. Okay, it will replace anything sitting in this. Okay, so this is what React is doing. It is replacing anything in this div with this hello world text. Okay, we can also do this. Let me just create a variable, and let me just put some text here. Welcome to my React basic project. And if I just replace this hello world with this msg variable and save it, you will see the magic. By the way, I'm really sorry about this machine, it is really slow. Alright, so there we go, we have the text stored in this variable but getting rendered into the page, and this is how it works. Okay, I hope this is making sense. If it is not, it will make sense more once we completely done with this project, I promise you that. So that's that for the start. I just wanted to give you simple examples. So what React uses, React has components. So there are two different types of components. The first one is functional components, and the second one would be class components. Okay, so I'll show you an example of each anyways, just to make you understand what is happening. So let's create a functional one. So we'll say const maybe app and will be an arrow function which will return something. We will return something actually. Just put something. Alright, so when we are using functions, React components, we need to use these tags. So React has those tags to render. Okay, so these tags are self-closing tags. So now you can see it is rendering this something into that page. So this is functional component. Okay, let me just quickly give you another example of class component as well. So class would be app. I just change this to app2 just to, and we say app, sorry, can't type, sorry. Class app extends, oops, I'm sorry, I'm using this new keyboard, I'm not really used to this. It is really annoying anyways. And that will be React component, and this app component would have a method called render, and this method will return something, maybe something from class component. Okay, so now as this is app now and this is app, we are rendering here app, so you can see we are rendering something from sorry, I was meant to write from can't type, I'm really sorry. So yeah, so as you can see it is successfully rendering here anyways. So these are two types of components, okay, in React, class components and functional components. So these two types you will be using a lot in React. The next thing I want to show you is props. So props are basically what we use to pass the data around in components in React. So what I mean by that. So let's just say if we want to make it more dynamic and pass this string dynamically to this app component instead of having this hard coded here. So what I can do is create a prop here. Say I'm just making it up, text, and we can give the value this something to this prop in this app2 component, and then we can pass it to, oops, if I can spell props, and now we can get it through props.text, which is our prop in here in app2. okay, so if I just save, it will still render something. Actually, let me just change it to maybe something more something. So if I save it, you will see it is rendering from here through the props into this app2 component. okay, the difference for class component would be, instead of passing through props.text, we will be using this .props.text, and we won't have props passed as an argument. okay, let me just actually quickly show you again, because I know it will be confusing. So say we want to render this into app component. alright, so we keep the text as a prop and change this value to this text, and I change it to app, as it is app, the class one, and here we will say this dot props dot was it text? Yes. okay, if I save this, now this value will be rendered. okay, so we're not passing props anywhere because it is already in React component. So I hope it is making sense what I'm trying to explain here. So this is basic. I just wanted to show you these guys because before I start making my application, because I know it would be really confusing if I wouldn't have explained this. So I just wanted to explain this quickly. I know I'm really doing it really slow. I just want to make sure you guys understand what I'm saying, and I'm trying to explain the basics so you wouldn't have an issue understanding what we are doing in this project. okay, so now I'm gonna start making the application. So I'm gonna get rid of this app2 component, and I'm gonna get rid of this text prop as well. So I'm just gonna save it with nothing in it pretty much. So I'm gonna delete everything, save it again, and we have a blank page. So the very first thing we're going to create is our header, and actually, and by the way, I completely forgot to mention this before. React component will render just one element, so if it could be a div or anything, but it has to be even one element. okay, so you can nest as many as you want in that element, but you can't render multiple elements. okay, so if you want more than one elements, you need to nest those into one div or any element. okay, so that was another tip. So I'm gonna create a div, and also I'll be using a shorthand coding. I don't know what is correct word, but I'm using Emmet, so I'll be using a lot of shorthands, even though I can't really type really fast. So I'm gonna create a div with class container, which is a Bootstrap class, and that will be my main div, which I want to render into this app component. Okay, and next I'm gonna create another div, and I'm gonna give it a class bg light. By the way, these classes are Bootstrap classes, just to remind you, if you don't know what are they. Okay, so, and the other thing you will notice, instead of class we are using class names, and this is what we have in our JSX, okay, for React or any JSX basically. So you can't use class as you do in simple JavaScript. Okay, in JSX you use class name instead. So I'm gonna give it a class bg light. Another class I want here is margin top 2. By the way, it is coming from my head so I'm just trying to think what I'm trying to make, so I will be a little bit slow. So what else I want in this div is the, yeah, maybe text center, center, and that's it. Next we need h1, and I'm gonna give it a class a display 4, and it will have tasks, and in this h1 I want to create a span tag with class text info, and another class would be margin left 2. Yep, and I want it to have a text to do, right? So if I just save it, as I said, my machine is really slow, so please bear with me. So this is what we get. Okay, actually task to do, I'm gonna give more margin, maybe not, that will do actually. And the other thing I want to get is an icon from Font Awesome, so I want that icon before tasks, so that will be an I tag with class FSA. Another class would be FA hyphen tasks. I hope I'm writing it correct. Yep, there we go. And I want to give it a color text info as well, and maybe margin right to, just to make a little bit gap. So that's what we have for our heading part or header part. Okay, so if I just, what I've done, I must have done something wrong. Okay, it's not gonna render. Let me just quickly see what I've done. It shows, yep, there you go. Alright, so our header part is ready. So let me just actually finish my UI and then I will show you something else, so make it more React thing. So that's what we have in our header, and after header I want to have a title and then basically a form. Okay, and I will use a div for this form. Actually create a form with an ID, not an ID, just want to create a form. So form which is not going anywhere, so it is not we are not submitting anything to any server. So in the form, I'm going to create a div with class form group, and in this div we need an input, and that will have a class of form control, and yeah, and I'm gonna name it input, and I don't need any ID for this, so instead I'll put a placeholder, and I want type your task here dot. If I just save it, just want to see what we get. So that's input, and actually I want a label for input as well, so I'll just quickly do a label. With class lead and text light, and the label would be excuse me, task. Okay, and it is for input, so just save it. After the input I want a button, so I'll say btn with the class btn, and another class would be btn success, and btn block, just make it cross. Okay, and it would have a value add task. Actually I just change it, I don't want hyphen in it, so this will be a type of submit as well. Type, I'm going to give it submit. If I save it, see what we get. And I think I forgot one class, which was margin top, and I want to give it maybe 1. Let's see how it looks. Maybe 2. It's just too close, so I'll put more margin. So that's our form. Next, yep, after this div I want to render our list, so that will be a UL with class I think is list group, and in that I want some allies with class list group item, and I want, for now I will just put task as a value, and I want about, I don't know, maybe 3 of them for now. They are just I'm just hard coding for now, just to show you the UI. Actually I forgot something. I was meant to put button as well in those, so the best would be, I think I just want to delete this and redo it, actually just the allies. Okay, just make it quick. So they will have class group list group item, sorry, list group item, and what else, and yep, lead maybe if I want to, and they will have task and I want 3 of them, and in those li I want to get button. Okay, and these button would have class of bdn sm and bdn danger, and yep, and they will have value x for now. And if I save this, I hope it is correct. As I said, my machine is really slow, so please bear with me. Okay, oh yeah, I forgot one class. I'm pretty sure I forgot something. I'm sorry, I'm making a lot of mistakes. BDN, and then we need BDN SM, BDN, BDN, and that's danger, and I think I was meant to do float right. Should copy this and paste this. If I save this, for some reason it is really slow today. I think it is because I'm recording at the same time, so that could be the reason. Anyways, so there we go, we have our UI ready. The only thing I think we are missing is this margin top for this UL. Okay, so maybe 2 should be good. Alright, so that's it. So we are pretty much done for our UI. So that's what we have. Okay, by the way, it is responsive as well. So this is our UI and this is all ready. Next, I just wanna show you how we can put all of this UI into different components instead of doing this way, because I want to make it more React way. So yeah, I'll see you in the next part. Okay guys, so now I'm gonna put all of these different parts of our UI into different components. What I mean by that is basically, let's just see, this is how basically React works. So think this UI as every part of this UI, consider a different component. Say this header part is a different component, this form is different component, and then this UL is a different component. Okay, so we're gonna make those components and render into this main app component. Okay, so let me just actually do this so it makes sense. So for this purpose I won't be using class, even though you can. I will be using functional components. So I'm gonna create first one and call, you can name anything, whatever you want to name it. By the way, I will name it header, and by the way, make sure they start with the first letter is capital. Just that's for React. Okay, and this will return our header part. Okay, so this div which is ending here, I believe, is our this heading part. Okay, so I'm gonna paste it here, and now instead of that I'm gonna render our header component here and save it, and you will see nothing would change. It will still be same if I haven't done any mistake because it's very easy to make mistakes in when you're doing this sort of okay, it looks like we've done something wrong. Okay, so there was another typo error. Okay, so there we go. So basically I forgot to put const, and you can't as you do with this class, you just write class and then name your component, but here you need to store this component into a function component has to be stored into a variable. Okay, so that was my mistake, by the way, sorry, and this which is good, so you learn with mistakes. Alright, so we have our header here, all the div and everything here, and we are rendering in this app, and then app is rendering into this render, okay, and getting into that div. Okay, if it is making sense. I'm trying my best to explain everything, by the way, but if it is still not making sense, I hope it will, as I'm keep saying that. Please bear with me and keep just watching. Okay, and the next thing I'm gonna show you a cool trick, the props thing. Let's just say if instead of having this task here, and I want to pass this in props, okay, and have something else, what I can do is I go up here and give maybe title and pause here things for now, and change this and we put props, oops, not this props, it's just props. Okay, props, and then change this to by the way, we need curly braces. Done. We need curly braces to do this, because if you are putting any kind of expression or JS expression, then you need curly braces in this. Okay, so whenever you are returning anything, you need to put curly braces, you need to put that into curly braces. Okay, so here, there we go. So as you can see, I'm signing a new value things into this to this title prop and rendering that here props dot title into our header component, so it is getting rendered into the page. Okay, but I'm gonna go back to my tasks. I don't want things so where is it? Okay, there we go. I'm gonna quickly change it to tasks, save it, and that's how props work. I'm just giving you another example. I didn't mean to do this, but I just wanted to show you guys. Next, I'm gonna quickly copy paste this component again and change this to maybe form. Okay, and I'm gonna get rid of everything here, and I'm gonna get my form. Where is it ending? Oops, too much. This form input button and this div, and then okay, I made a mistake. I just realized I was alright. I'll just get this out. And close this form tag here. and I don't want one, and I'm gonna get rid of this tag because it was not meant to include this UL. Okay, as I'm here now, so I'm gonna do the same thing for form component. Okay, and save it. I hope no more mistakes. And yeah, that's good. It is rendering. And one more time, I'm gonna copy paste this header and change this to, I don't know, maybe tasks this time. Give it different name and get rid of everything in this, and I'm gonna go up here and grab this li, and here I'll create a div, and in this div I'll paste those li's. As I said before, we can't render multiple elements, we can render only one element, so this is why I'm creating another div and putting those li into this div. Okay, for now. And in this where is it, in this UL, I will render that tasks component. So as you can see, now we have a really clean component, app component, okay, which has some header component and then form and then one UL with tasks component in it. So this is the beauty of React. Okay, so you can put everything into different components and then render it one component in there, and that main it is usually app component and can be rendered to that this method. Alright, so when you will be doing the real one, you will have all those components into different files, and we call this modular approach. Okay, so you will have all of these components because they will be huge and they will be in different files, and we will be importing and exporting those components into other components, okay, to make them work. But as this is a simple example, so I'm just keeping it in one file. I don't want to make it complicated, so this is why I'm keeping in one file instead of having multiple files. Okay, I could do this, but I just want to make it simple and easy to understand. Okay, so now we have done our UI in React way, in more React way. So I will see you in next part where we will make it functional, I would say. Alright, so next, as you can see, we have these three LIs and they are hard-coded here in this tasks component. So I don't want to keep them hard-coded. Instead, I want to make them dynamic. So what I'm gonna do is get rid of the last two one, and I'm gonna keep one there for now. And in React, what we have is called states. And what are states for? Basically, by the way, they are used in components, okay? And we use states to store data, so or hold data, okay? So they are basically states are object, okay, in React components or React class components, okay? So I'm gonna create a state here, and this state will have an array. I'm gonna name it maybe, I don't know, my tasks, and this array will have some tasks for now, okay? And I'll just say task, if I can spell, task 1, and then I'll just copy paste actually. Oh, oops, sorry. Then I just change it to task 2 and task 3. So I'm still having kind of hard coded for now, but I just want to show you how it works, okay? So save it, nothing would happen, and now I'm gonna go down to my URL, and in here, as you can see, we still have that one li, which is from this task component, okay? So instead, what I'm gonna do is put curly braces in here. As I said, when we are returning any expression, we need those curly braces, okay, in React, or basically in JSX. So here, what I'm gonna do is go to this start state dot, and what I name is my tasks, and I'm gonna use map method, and this would use call a callback, okay? And what we want to return for each item is this in that array, this task component, okay? I'm just assuming you know how map works. If you don't know, basically it returns it is a array method in JavaScript, and it returns whatever we are getting, whatever we are returning, one for each item in the array, okay? So at the moment we are returning task component, which has one li, and this is why now we are seeing 3 different, because we have 3 items in our array, okay? So but I want to get those, not this li, okay? So what I'm gonna do is I'll name it I'm gonna create a prop task, and what I'm gonna do is put this t, which we are getting from map, okay, which will hold this array items, okay? Then I'm gonna go down to my tasks, and in here, instead of this hard coded, I'm gonna do props dot what did I name? I think tasks. Let me just double check, I forgot, sorry. Yeah, task, and then yeah, we already have props here. So if I just save, now this will render these 3, okay? So there we go, we have task 1 2 3, and if we add another one here, just to show you guys, task task 4, and if I say, that will be added into the list. Okay, so I hope this is making sense. So we are using map to get those, and then we are using prop to render into our tasks component. Okay, so this is how it works. And the next thing, I don't want to have these hard-coded tasks in my array. Instead, I want to grab something from our input and put into here. Okay, so now we're going to create some events. So I will see you in next part. Okay, so now what I want to do is grab some value from this input and put it into our state. Okay, and how do we do this? So first I'm gonna create a new key here, and I will call this new, maybe new task, and for now I will give an empty string value to it. So in React, you can't directly mutate the state. You basically need to, if you want to update or change the state, you need to use something called set state. So yeah, let me just do that, and it will make sense what I'm trying to say. Okay, so we will need a method in our app component. I will name it new task for now. I don't know, and this method will what this will do is, oops, sorry, just forgot to put. So here we will be calling this dot set state, and what we're going to change in this state is basically this new task only. Okay, so from an empty string to the value of this input, so which will be an event, and what we want to get is e here, and we're gonna get is e dot target dot value. Alright, so this will get the value from input and store into this, okay, in our state. However, we need to pass this down to our input and link it to input basically. Okay, so I'm gonna go down, and in my render our input is in the form, so here I will just make up input prop, and I will just assign this dot new task, which is our method. Okay, and I'm gonna go down to input now, which is right here, and what I'm gonna do is on change, I'm gonna do a props dot, I think, set input. Yep, that was input. Okay, so assign this. Okay, and I'm gonna do one more thing actually, and I'm gonna give it actually I will do it later because I want to show you why I'm doing this. Okay, so now this will grab whatever is the value of that input and store it into this new task. Okay, next we need to add this to our UL or this list. Okay, so how do we do this? We need to create another method for this. Okay, for now I'm just gonna copy paste this, Control C and Control V, and change this to maybe add new task, or just add new task, and this time instead of this dot set state, we will be using this dot. Yeah, we're gonna use it, but we're gonna use a callback function instead. Okay, this will store the whole this will pass the whole state as a parameter. Okay, so I will just say prove state, maybe. Oops, sorry. And that is a callback, and what I'm gonna do is prove state dot my task. So I'll be using push method to push into array, and what we want for now, I'll just push I don't know, ha 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 ha. Okay, and we want to assign this to our form. Okay, so here what should I say, add task. Okay, and that will be this dot add new task, and I'm gonna go down to form, and on submit I say props dot, and was it add task, I think. Yep, right. So, and one more thing, because we want to prevent the default behavior, because we are doing this on submit on a form. So I'm gonna do is e dot prevent default method here, just to not to prevent the refresh thing. Okay, you would know that anyways if you have done JavaScript. So for now, if I just click this, ha 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 is added. Okay, but we don't want to do ha ha ha. Instead, we want to grab the value from this new task and do that. Okay, so I'm gonna do this dot state dot new task and save it. And I'm gonna actually remove some of them because the list is getting too long, so I will keep 2 of them for just to demo purpose. Okay, and if we put another one, task, I can't spell task by the way. Okay, task 3 and add, and task 4, and it's getting added. So but the next thing I want to do is clear this. Okay, and this is what I was going to do before, but I decided not to do it because I wanted to show you right now. When I submit or press this add task button, I can't clear the last one. Okay, I want to clear it. So how we're gonna do it is basically go down to input, and here I'm gonna give it a value, and the value would be oh sorry, I forgot to put the value here. That would be, yep, the form. Just gonna pass value, and this would be this dot state dot new task. Okay, and now in the form we have value. Okay, in the form, I want to pass the value this profs dot value. If I save now, and now when we, because props would have, oh yeah, I forgot one more thing actually. It will still have the values of just it is keeping this, but I want to clear this. So instead, when we are submitting this, I'm gonna do one more time this dot set state, and what we want to change is to new task. Oops, I don't know what I'm doing. I don't know. Okay, new task, and I'm going to assign again this to an empty one. Okay, and save it. And if I just do something here, and now you can see this is getting cleared. Okay, so basically we are assigning this one the value of this. Okay, so this is how you get it clear. So that's how you get value from an input and store into a variable, and then do the magic to add into the list. Okay, so yeah, I will see you in the next part where we will be doing some validation. As if I click right now, if I do this, we can do empty list, which we don't want to do. Okay, I want to avoid this and do some validation here. Okay, so in the next part I will show you how we do that. So I'll see you in the next part. Okay, so for this validation purpose, we're going to use Bootstrap classes is invalid and invalid feedback. So how we're gonna use is basically we're gonna change the input class name or classes from form control to form control is invalid dynamically if the input has an empty value. Okay, so how we're gonna do is we're gonna use a ternary expression for this purpose. Okay, and let me just start doing it and talk later, otherwise it will be confusing if I just keep talking. So I'm gonna put another one here, error, and assign an empty string to it for now. Actually, we just assigned empty string, and then so excuse me, here we're gonna do a check with an if statement. If this dot state dot what was that, sorry, keep forgetting, new task is strictly equal to an empty, then we wanna do this, else we want to do whatever we are doing basically. Okay, and what we want to do here is this dot set state. Okay, and in our state we want to update our error and assign it to true boolean. Okay, else, and in here we want to clear out error, and sorry, I forgot the comma. Right, so that's what we're going to do here. If we run this, if this has a true one, so we want to assign it an empty one again. Okay, so or we can put false, but I'm just keeping empty, by the way. So next we're gonna use ternary expression, and to do this we need to go to form again and pass another prop, maybe error, and that would be this dot state dot error. Okay, and we're gonna go down to our input, and in here we're gonna say this, sorry, profs dot error is true, then we want this class and a Bootstrap class is hyphen invalid. If it is empty or false, we just want form control. Okay, think yeah, sorry, actually I forgot I was supposed to close these classes separately, so just quickly do that. Okay, and that will do. The next thing is I'm going to create a new div, and this div is going to be related to this is invalid class. So if there is invalid class, and this will div pop up, it's kind of feedback message, and it will hold a message for validation. Okay, so I'm gonna give it a class I'm sorry, I start typing inside the, so div with invalid feedback, and maybe another one bg dark, and also p2, and this will say task required or required. Okay, I just want to remove this hyphen and save it, and let's just try it. Oops, why is it invalid feedback? Oh, sorry, that was feedback. Yep, there we go. Alright, so if I type something, add it, and if I try to add an empty one, it won't let's add, but it is not showing the error alert or message. What did I do? Oh yeah, sorry, I was meant to do this in here, not in that. Okay, so I just quickly do this. So what was happening basically, when this was clearing out our error, it was clearing as soon as we were submitting. So this won't have a true value in here, so we don't want to happen that. We want to have it true and show the error. And but why I'm doing a clear here, because as soon as we type something, we want the, actually let me just remove this from here so I can show you. Okay, so we are not clearing this out, okay, the true value from the state. So if I do this successfully adds, and if I do an empty one, it won't let add and it shows the error. But when I start typing, it still shows the error, which is not good. We don't want to see the error as soon as we start typing, okay, and the error stays there. So this is why we want to clear it out here. What was that error in our new task method? So now as soon as we start typing, it will clear out the error. And this time, sorry, I'm too lazy to type proper word. And if I do this an empty one, it shows up the error, and it shows the message as well what is required. So if as soon as we start typing, let's just say T, and that goes away, and that's happening because of this, okay. So that's validation. The next, which would be the last one, we need to remove these tasks by clicking these buttons. At the moment, if we click, nothing is happening because we don't have any event or any method attached to these buttons. So this is what we're going to do next. Okay, I'll see you in next part. Okay, for this last part of the video, we're going to do our last task, which is removing these tasks from our list. So to do this, we're going to create another method. I'll call this method remove task, and this task will receive an index, and we want to call this dot set state, and here we're going to change the whole array. So that would be my tasks. So that's full array. So what are we gonna do is basically slice our existing array and remove the task we don't want to, our ally we don't want to keep, and then return it to short array into one array. Okay, so I'm gonna use spread operator, and so dot this dot state, if I can spell, state dot that was my task, and we're gonna use slice method to slice the array, and we're gonna start from 0 up to index number, whatever we are getting in index. Okay, and I'll just copy this and paste here, and this time we want to start from index plus 1 all the way to end. Okay, if we don't put a second argument, it will go all the way to end. Okay, so yep, and why is it For some reason, why is it remove? Oh, sorry. Yep. Alright, so now I gotta go down and get index. So I don't know, somehow I already have it here. So we're gonna get index from this map. Okay, so as I'm here, I'm going to pass key as well this time, because we are getting index. So in React, each li should have a key, so we can use index for key. I should have mentioned in the start, but I didn't for some reason. Okay, this key has nothing to do with this remove, by the way, function. Okay, so what we wanna do is do another prop remove. Oh my god, this system, sorry. And we're gonna assign, this time we're going to assign a callback function. Okay, so we're giving it a value of callback instead of directly calling this. Okay, so this that will be remove task, and here we will pass index from here. So this will remember the index, and even though we are calling this from another function. Okay, so this will remember the index here, which is another thing in JavaScript, by the way. Okay, so anyways, we have this callback function in this prop, sitting in this prop. So we're gonna go down to our li, which is not li, in our button within li. Okay, so here, this button, so we're gonna call on click. So this is going to be camel case again, because of this is how it works in React. So we're gonna say props dot, that was remove, I believe. Yeah, and save it and hope for the best and see what we get. I think I need a better system now. Alright, so task 3, task 4, and some random tasks we want to delete. Okay, so if we click any of these allies from our list, so this should work. Okay, so even though you don't have to go into order, we can click any of them, so that will be removed. Okay, so that's how we go remove the ally. So we are done with this project finally. I know this shouldn't be this long. I was really slow. I think it is because I'm new to teaching, and I'm also new to coding anyways, and I'm trying to explain things really slow for some reason. But I hope you must have learned something from this project, and please appreciate me by liking the video and sharing and subscribing, and do comment if you have some feedbacks. And also I have a plan to make another React basics course. Basically I want to go into in depth, but I need your feedback, please, and I need subscriber, of course, for my YouTube channel. So, and one more thing, As you can see here, it is the last day of the year, so I wish you all a happy new year and hope for the best. And I think yeah, the next year will be a great year for all of us, and I wish you all get whatever you are all trying to achieve. So me too. So yeah, please do like the video and please subscribe and share with your friends, and yes, leave some comments and let me know if there was something missing and if I could improve. As you might already know, I'm learning as well, so I'm very new to coding, by the way, so I'm not a geek. I would appreciate your feedback in any ways. I'm very open to hear from you if there was a better way to do anything in this project, so this way I will be learning a lot from you guys as well. So I thank you so much, you all, for watching this video and being patient along with me, and I hope to see you guys soon in another project or in another video. I'll be doing some short videos as well, by the way. So yeah, happy coding and happy new year, and see you later. Bye.